cooperation between the Sultanate of Oman and the State of Kuwait. The Sultanate of Oman welcomes the ceasefire announcement between the Islamic Republic of Iran and the United States of America, commending the efforts of Pakistan and all parties calling for an end to the war. Ceasefire between Tehran and Washington to last 2 weeks, and direct talks are set for Friday in Islamabad. And hundreds killed and injured in deadliest Israeli airstrikes across Lebanon. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Tu Lam of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam on his election as the new president and his swearing-in ceremony. His Highness Sayyid Bil Arab bin Haytham Al Saeed, Minister of State and Governor of Muscat, received today His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Nasser Al Hajri, Ambassador of the State of Kuwait to the Sultanate of Oman. The meeting reviewed the strong fraternal relations binding the Sultanate of Oman and the State of Kuwait. It explored ways to enhance mutual cooperation across various fields to serve the shared interests and realize the aspirations of the leadership of both countries and their people for further progress and prosperity. The Sultanate of Oman has welcomed the announcement of a ceasefire between the Islamic Republic of Iran and the United States of America. It commended the efforts undertaken by the Islamic Republic of Pakistan in this context, as well as those of all parties advocating for an end to the war. In a statement issued by the Foreign Ministry today, the Sultanate of Oman emphasized the importance of intensifying efforts to find solutions that address the root causes of the crisis and achieve a permanent cessation of hostilities and act of war in the region. His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamid Al Busaidi, Foreign Minister, affirmed that serious negotiations between the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran are essential to achieving lasting peace. He indicated that the Sultanate of Oman supports this endeavor to strengthen sustainable regional security. In a post of the X platform, His Excellency said that the world has temporarily stepped back from confronting the catastrophe, but stressing that there is no room for complacency. The Sultanate of Oman condemned the attack on the Consulate General of the State of Kuwait in Basra, Iraq, which constituted a clear violation of international diplomatic norms and conventions guaranteeing the inviolability of diplomatic missions and the safety of their personnel. In a statement issued today by the Foreign Ministry, the Sultanate of Oman rejected such acts, emphasizing the need to respect the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations and to ensure the protection of diplomatic and consular missions under the circumstances. In a world of rising tensions, one voice remains steady. Oman, guided not by reaction, but by wisdom, choosing dialogue over division and balance over escalation. Our colleague Abdullah Al-Rubai brings you more in this report.
In a world increasingly shaped by conflict and division, one nation continues to chart a different course. The Sultanate of Oman, long recognized for its balanced and principled diplomacy, remains a steady voice for dialogue, even amid rising regional tensions. A legacy not built on reaction, but on wisdom, restraint, and strategic clarity. Oman's diplomacy, a legacy of wisdom, balance, and measured influence. With its long-standing history and unique presence, the Sultanate of Oman continues to exert meaningful impact regionally and globally, managing complex issues with steady composure. In a rapidly changing and often polarized world, Omani decisions are not shaped by urgency or pressure, but grounded in firm principles, knowing precisely when to engage, when to speak, and when to take a clear stand. In an international landscape marked by shifting alliances and competing interests, Oman has maintained a consistent course, earning trust and building credibility across all sides.
Oman does not view diplomacy as a reaction to crisis, but as a continuous responsibility, ensuring dialogue remains possible even in the most challenging moments.
It is a diplomacy that does not seek attention but impact, working quietly behind the scenes, opening channels of communication and creating space for dialogue where others see deadlock. At the heart of this approach lies active neutrality, a deliberate and responsible engagement that goes beyond standing on the sidelines, a philosophy that addresses crises at their roots and prioritizes understanding over confrontation.
Oman's approach is rooted in active neutrality, engaging with all sides while safeguarding national interests, balancing principle with strategic vision.
This approach is not new nor shaped by circumstance. It is the continuation of a deeply rooted path formed over decades and guided by clear understanding of national priorities and regional realities. From regional crisis to global tensions, Oman's voice remains measured and principled, called for justice, accountability, and the protection of innocent lives, even when positions elsewhere appear divided. Oman understands the true cost of conflict not only in political terms but in human suffering and long-term instability. From this understanding emerged a consistent message: peace is not optional, it is essential. Yet for Oman, peace is not built on weaknesses, but on strength, stability, and readiness, balancing dialogue with the protection of national interests. A legacy shaped by history, strengthened by experience, and guided by a belief that stability is achieved through dialogue, trust, and sustained engagement. And as conflicts continue to unfold, Oman's message remains clear and unwavering. Oman stands apart from this conflict, yet the doors of diplomacy remain open, a reflection of a nation guided by wisdom, restraint, and a firm belief that peace must always remain within reach. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
Iran and the United States announced an agreement to a 14-day ceasefire and to begin direct negotiations in Islamabad, Pakistan next Friday. Sources in Iran and Israel reported a halt to hostilities on both sides within the first few hours of the ceasefire taking effect. More in this report.
After 38 days of confrontation and military escalation in the Middle East, Iran and the United States announced a 14-day ceasefire agreement under which direct negotiations between the parties will begin in the Pakistani capital, Islamabad, this coming Friday. U.S. President Donald Trump, less than 2 hours before the expiration of his deadline for Tehran, announced via a post on his Truth Social platform a 2-week ceasefire in Iran, stipulating the reopening of navigation to ships and tankers. The Iranian National Security Council, for its part, confirmed its acceptance of the truce and its participation in the direct negotiations to be held in Pakistan, adding that Tehran had drafted a plan which it presented to the mediators. This plan consists of 10 points, including establishing a protocol for the safe passage of ships and tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, ending the war against Iran, paying compensation for damages caused by the war, completely lifting the economic sanctions imposed on Tehran for decades, releasing frozen Iranian assets abroad, halting Israeli attacks on Iran, and accepting enrichment and recognizing Iran's right to enrich uranium for peaceful purposes. A binding resolution issued by the UN Security Council that enshrines the agreement as international law binding on the parties.
Emergency workers searched for survivors in Beirut today after several Israeli airstrikes in the Lebanese capital. Beirut municipality officials condemned the barrage of strikes as a crime. Israeli strikes hit several dense commercial and residential areas in central Beirut without warning, hours after a ceasefire was announced in the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran. Lebanon's health ministry said dozens of people were killed and hundreds were wounded in an early estimate. Israel said the agreement does not extend to its war with the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah in Lebanon, although mediator Pakistan said it does. Israeli military called it the largest coordinated strike in the current war, striking more than 100 Hezbollah targets within 10 minutes in Beirut, southern Lebanon. International reactions have continued regarding the agreement to a temporary ceasefire between the United States and the Islamic Republic of Iran. Saudi Arabia welcomed the announcement of a ceasefire, affirming its support for mediation efforts led by Pakistan. For its part, the Arab Republic of Egypt welcomed the announcement of reaching a ceasefire, pointing to the importance of initiating a serious negotiations process between the American and Iranian sides. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres also welcomed the truce, calling on all parties to comply with international law and to seize the opportunity to achieve a lasting and comprehensive peace. Meanwhile, the Turkish Ministry of Foreign Affairs called in a statement for respecting the agreement and fully implementing it by all parties. European Union President Ursula von der Leyen has also welcomed the ceasefire agreement, stressing it's important in reaching a lasting solution. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs also expressed its welcome of the ceasefire, adding that Beijing will continue its efforts to establish a lasting peace in the Middle East. Global financial markets recorded mixed movements today following the announcement of a ceasefire agreement between the United States and Iran in a step that eased geopolitical tensions in the region. Global oil prices declined noticeably after fears of supply disruptions through the Strait of Hormuz subsided. Brent crude fell by more than 13%, dropping below $100 per barrel, while U.S. crude fell to around $96 per barrel, marking its biggest daily drop in years. Meanwhile, gold prices rose significantly, driven by investors turning to a safe haven asset despite the easing tensions. Gold remains the safest refuge in times of uncertainty. The US dollar also weakened against major currencies, prompting investors to shift towards other currencies and higher risk assets. His Excellency Engineer Saeed bin Hamud Al Ma'wali, Minister of Transport, Communications and Information Technology, said that the space sector in the Sultanate of Oman has witnessed growth, including the launch of a test rocket from the Wilaya of Duqm and the signing of the Omani satellite project. He added in a statement before the Shura Council that more than 60 road projects are currently being implemented across the governorate, with a total value exceeding 1,200 million Omani riyals, noting that the revenues of the land transport sector grew by 18% during the past year. His Excellency pointed out that the port sector handled more than 143 million tons of cargo and over 5 million standard containers during the past year. The session was chaired by His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al-Ma'wali, Chairman of the Shura Council. The Royal Academy of Management concluded a Startup Leadership Program. The program comprised 4 main pillars covering strategic leadership, financial planning, growth and expansion management, as well as human capital management. It also included international field visits to several global accelerators and business incubators, as well as meetings with experts and CEOs of startup companies. At the program conclusion, participants presented the outputs of their applied projects, which included strategic expansion plans designed to enhance their company's competitiveness. The closing ceremony was held under the patronage of His Excellency Sultan bin Salim Al Habsi, Minister of Finance. His Excellency Abdul Salam bin Mohammed Al Murshidi, President of Oman Investment Authority, received a Libyan delegation headed by His Excellency Dr. Khalifa Rajab, Libya's acting Minister of Oil and Gas. The two sides discussed existing cooperation between the two brotherly countries in vital and priority sectors, as well as opportunities to enhance partnership in investment field, most notably food security, infrastructure, medical industries, renewable energy, information technology, and medical services. The Board of Directors of the Public Authority for Special Economic Zones and Free Zones held its second meeting of the year. The board reviewed the implementation status of its previous decisions and the policies aimed at enhancing institutional performance and achieving sustainable economic growth targets in line with national priorities. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Qais bin Mohammed Al Yusuf, Chairman of the board. The city of Salalah continues to strengthen its position as a key logistic hub, benefiting from its proximity to the port of Salalah, one of the major ports on global shipping routes, supporting commercial and economic activities in the region. During a strategic meeting held by the Public Authority for Special Economic Zones and Free Zones, plans were reviewed to develop incentive systems and competitive advantages, enhance the logistics and industrial role of the zones, and activate the comprehensive partnership agreement with the Republic of India. Data indicated the signing of 325 new investment contracts, representing a 6.8% growth rate, while the total value of investment reached approximately 4.4 billion Omani riyals. The Hospital of the Medical City for Military and Security Services in Muscat successfully performed a delicate surgical operation that led to the removal of a cancerous tumor from a patient's kidney by using a surgical robot. The operation was performed using an advanced robotic surgical system that provides high-resolution 3D vision as well as precise control of surgical instruments. This helped remove the tumor while at the same time preserving the healthy part of the kidney. The Professional Empowerment Forum for Persons with Disabilities reviewed ways to strengthen community partnership and open broader horizons for the professional empowerment of persons with disabilities. Contributing to their support and integration into the labor market, the forum, which was held in the Wilaya of Salalah, also discussed best practices and successful experiences in the field of vocational rehabilitation, enhancing cooperation among relevant stakeholders, and raising community awareness of the importance of empowering persons with disabilities. The forum included 2 dialogue sessions that discussed the educational, physiological, and social aspects of vocational rehabilitation and empowerment. Al-Wusta Governorate is witnessing the implementation of a new package of development and services projects across its wilayas, following the signing of 10 agreements. These agreements aim to enhance infrastructure, improve quality of life in line with population growth and the need of citizens.
Al-Wusta Governorate has signed 10 agreements to implement service and development projects across its wilayas aimed at enhancing infrastructure and improving quality of life. The agreements were signed by His Excellency Sheikh Ahmed bin Msalem bin Zahir al-Kathiri, Governor of Al-Wusta, alongside representatives of executing companies in the presence of walis and senior officials. The total value of these signed projects is close to 4 million Omani Riyals, covering key initiatives across Hema, Mhout, Diqam, and Al Jazr. In Hema, Phase 1 of the Hema waterfront project was launched at a cost exceeding 2 million Riyals, along with a public majlis in the Wilaya Center, valued at over 209,000 Riyals.
In this day, number of development agreements were signed for project service in Governorate, Wilayat Hayma, Mhout, Ad-Daqam, and Al-Jazr, with the total value around 4 million Omani Riyals. And mentally, this project for economic and social impact and urban development in the Governorate Al-Wusta.
In Mhout, an agreement was signed to develop and beautify the Sarab junction, while in Diqam, works will begin on basic infrastructure for tourism camps along the Ras Madraka waterfront. In Al Jazr, multiple projects include Phase 2 of beach shade structures and facilities in Khorghawi, the development of the Soqara beachfront in Al-Lakbi, and upgrades to the Wilaya's waterfront, in addition to other service projects. Officials say the projects underscore the Governorate's commitment to improving living standards and strengthening essential services. Additional initiatives are also underway, including road development, lighting upgrades, public parks, and municipal markets, as part of broader efforts to deliver integrated services and support sustainable development.
Under the patronage of His Excellency Dr. Khamis bin Saif Al-Jabri, Minister of Economy, North Al-Sharqiya Governorate today marked the conclusion of the Innovative Economy Award, honoring winners whose projects reflect a growing focus on innovation-led developments. More details in the following report.
In North Al-Sharqiya Governorate, efforts to promote innovation are increasingly shaping the direction of sustainable development. The Innovative Economy Awards brought together creative thinking and practical solutions, reinforcing the governor's direction toward building a diversified and resilient economy.
We are so honored to announce, and we can confidently say that these awards have contributed to strengthening a culture of innovation, empowering the community, and enhancing institutional performance. This is just the beginning of a continuous journey towards sustainable development driven by partnership and impact.
The awards were structured around 3 main categories: innovative architectural design, institutional excellence, and community contribution and volunteer work. Together, they aimed to harness national capabilities, encourage creative initiatives, and align development efforts with society's needs and aspirations.
Enhancing IBRA frontage project, it's not a normal project. It's a project that actually will enhance people's life, and it will add an innovative place that can change the lifestyle and the students' environment as well.
This kind of competition means a lot to any unit take part in this competition, because it means that there is a kind of self-evaluation for what we are doing, what we are giving also to our clients and main customers or main stakeholders like students in our case, and also to the community as a whole. It means a lot in terms of thinking about the quality of our services, trying to improve it, and also trying to make sure that the environment and the working style in the university or in the institution is in line of the expectation of Vision Oman 2040.
Across the competing initiatives, a clear pattern emerged, with innovation shaping multiple aspects of development, from infrastructure to institutional performance and community engagement. Here in North Al-Sharqiyya, innovation is taking its way into everyday development, shaping projects that serve the community and the economy. Reporting from the Wilaya of Ibra, this is Saleh Bukhalfan Al-Rahbi, North Al-Sharqiyya Governorate.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Highness, the Minister of State and Governor of Muscat, reviews the fraternal relations and ways to enhance cooperation between the Sultanate of Oman and the State of Kuwait. The Sultanate of Oman welcomes the ceasefire announcement between the Islamic Republic of Iran and the United States of America, commending the efforts of Pakistan and all parties calling for an end to the war. Ceasefire between Tehran and Washington to last 2 weeks, and direct talks are set for Friday in Islamabad. And hundreds killed and injured in deadliest Israeli airstrikes across Lebanon. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night and stay safe.